Hello Hunters, my name is Flame Hunter, and I'm back. Now, as I always say, you may or may not remember, but I made a review of the game, The 7 Deadly Sins, The Knights of Britannia, and guess what? It wasn't a good game, but the review did surprisingly well, at least by my standards. So I'm making another one. Just like the last time, the game we're going to be making a review on is another cash grab 3D arena anime fighting game, based on a popular anime that doesn't really fit the 3D arena fighting game genre. But the developer still chose to make it like that because it's cheap and easy to develop. The game we're going to be talking about today is One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, or as I like to call it, One Punch Man, a game nobody wants. So let's punch right in. You get the joke? I'll shut up now. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, was originally announced in June 2019 and developed by everyone's favorite crappy anime game developer, Spike Chunsoft, and of course, published by Bandai Namco. The game was later released on February 27, 2020 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC to a lukewarm reception. It received mixed reviews, but the general consensus was that it was another cash grab anime game, hoping to lure in fans of the anime, and despite that, it was nominated for Best Fighting Game of 2020 at the Game Awards? What the fuck? Anyways, it wasn't a good game. Any reviewer who said it was a cash grab is 100% correct. Anyone who said it was good? Why? I guess I better start explaining my own personal case for why this game is a load of hot garbage. Now, when we first start up the game, we're greeted with the surprisingly well-made cutscene. If you remember from my last anime game review, Chunsoft completely messed up on their 7 Deadly Sins opening cutscene, and I guess they learned their lesson. The animation here is honestly better than One Punch Man Season 2's animation, but still not as good as the animation of Season 1. Now, the problem is following this gorgeous scene, we're hit with this crap. Where do we even begin? Aside from the immense drop in quality and I'm assuming budget, you might have noticed that the guy getting knocked around looks very similar, and no, it's not Scott the Woz. One of the main selling points of this game is the character creator. Now, if you know me, then I'm a big fan of character creators. Hell, my whole channel is based on them, and this one in particular is okay, I guess. Now, of course, if you know the anime, then you know it's about superheroes, so coincidentally, the character creator is about making your own superhero, so I got started making myself. First of all, it didn't let me input Flame Hunter as my name, only Flame Hunty, so yeah. Next up is choosing a voice, and I'm sorry, these voice actors aren't terrible, but it just sounds so ridiculous hearing grunting noises back to back. After finding my inner voice, I'm met with choosing a face, and wow, are these parts limited. And that's just how it goes at the beginning. You have barely any options. The faces are, yes, limited as all hell, only being able to choose pre-chosen faces, but the clothing, accessories, all the other parts only give you a couple options to start with. I'm not saying give us all the options at the start, but come on, only 3 hairstyles? Like I just mentioned, you get to choose a face along with features, hairstyles, height, head size, upper physique, lower physique, hand size, foot size, upper body clothing, lower body clothing, hands, feet, weapons at some point, and up to 8 accessories. I also want to mention that you can change the colors for any of the parts. I'm really torn on this character creator. At first it seems like you're lacking options, but the thought of getting even more excites me. But then once I get into the game, I realize just how bad the creator really is. What I mean by that is all of the enemies you face, besides pre-established characters from the series, are made by the game's character creator. Now, I really like this idea. What it does is that it can show us just how robust an editor is, but that's only when it's actually good. When you're given a crappy character creator, it just highlights how bad and generic it is. All of these characters look exactly the same besides hair and clothing. There's barely anything unique to them, and thanks to the game's own design, I've grown to dislike the character creator even more. So, thanks, Spike? Let's get back to the cutscene. As you may have noticed, this game has an English dub. I don't really feel like getting into a debate about sub versus dub, but the main argument that Team Sub makes is that the dub voice actors just aren't as good as Japanese voice actors, and this game only proves that fact. I don't know if they used any of the same voice actors from the show, but I am not a fan of them. Anyways, let's talk about the story mode itself, the main draw of the game. The story mode is loosely based on the first season of the anime, except instead of solely playing as Saitama and Genos, you play as your own creator character, experiencing these events alongside the heroes. In order to progress through the story, you can explore an open city environment, accepting missions in order to increase your popularity among the citizens, to bring your rank up and eventually get access to more story missions. Along the way, you can earn money to buy items and clothing to further customize your character. Now I know, before I said that the character creator is and I mean, it still is, but I still had a little fun buying random and stupid items to make my hero look as dumb as possible. The open environment doesn't get any better. First of all, it's not fair to call this an open world. Maybe open environment is the right word, but still, there's nothing to do or discover here. Movement options are so limited, so it's not even fun to traverse around the landscape, and for some reason, despite having a decent PC, it constantly lags all the time. So, like mentioned before, the main aim of the game is to complete the missions to increase your rank. There are multiple different types of missions that all blend together. Basically, all you do is sit through a long ass loading screen, watch a cutscene, another loading screen, have a short fight that you can win by spamming one button, we'll get more into that later, wait through another loading screen, watch another cutscene, and one final loading screen for good measure, then you're done. They used the same exact rinse and repeat formula that they did for Jump Force. The story mode is not very fun. I did somewhat enjoy buying items for my avatar, but that was about the only fun that I had. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that you can also buy furniture to customize your one-room house. It literally has no gameplay benefits. You will literally never go to your house unless one of the missions requests it. So, how do you actually beat the game? By playing through endless battles with piss-poor gameplay. As you would have seen, One Punch Man is a 3D arena fighter, Spike Chunsoft's specialty. And if you know anything else about Spike Chunsoft, then you'll know that they don't give a about competitive play. Now, I'm not much of a competitive fighting game player myself, but even I can tell that this fighting system is awful. First of all, let's go over the basic controls. If you've ever played a 3D arena fighter, then you'll get used to these controls immediately. There's a light attack button that can press repeatedly for a combo. There's also a heavy attack button that can be repeatedly pressed for a combo. There's a grab button that bypasses blocks. There's a jump button. You can walk around or hold down a button to sprint. You can also block by holding down another button. You can call for assists or swap to one of your other two available teammates. And finally, you can use special moves by holding down one button and selecting another, which is mapped to one of your special moves, one of which will always be an awakening. It may seem like a lot of buttons, you'll get used to it in no time, considering how generic it is. Now we get to one of One Punch Man's biggest mistakes, the way Saitama was handled. For those that don't know anything about the show, Saitama is the main character, and his whole gimmick is that he can defeat any enemy in one punch and can never be hurt. So how do you implement this into a fighting game? I for one can come up with a number of ways. Don't make him playable, refer to his health bar as a boredom bar or something, just throw his entire character out the window and make him like any other character, or literally just make him OP and don't give a shit about balancing. No shits were given. That's right, Saitama in this game cannot take damage and will defeat any enemy in one hit. To try and balance this, they made a system where if Saitama is on your team, you have to wait a time limit before he can show up, but that also means that you can just run around the map and wait for him to arrive. They also realized how stupid that was and made it so you can just restrict Saitama from being chosen. The final compromise they made was by adding an additional character called Dream Saitama, which is Saitama but he's dreaming that he can be defeated and won't beat everyone with one punch. How would I have handled Saitama? What are you looking at me for? I'm not a game designer. In all honesty though, I just wouldn't have made this game in the first place. I'm a big fan of One Punch Man, but I just don't think a fighting game will work given how unbalanced all of the characters are in the show. I think if they really wanted Saitama in a video game, it should have been regulated to a crossover game like Jump Force, or maybe even a One Punch Man kart racing game. That would have been better than whatever this was. Anyways, back to the gameplay. It's not good. It's exactly what you would expect from a generic low-budget 3D arena anime fighting game, except there's more improbability thrown into the mix. For whatever reason, Spike Chunsoft loves to have these perfect timing block things, where basically if you perfectly time a block press while you're being attacked, you can teleport behind the enemy. It requires no timing skill whatsoever. Literally all you have to do is spam a button and you'll eventually get it. Then from there just spam the basic attacks or special moves and you'll easily win. There's no strategy or skill involved. Another stupid case of chance time is that for some reason there are just random stage hazards, not even remotely fun ones like Smash. It'll be gimmicky ones like, uh-oh, meteors are falling from the sky, or a mole is digging holes in the ground. They're so easy to avoid that I think their only purpose is to try and distract you from the fact that all the stages look and play exactly the same. Yeah, the stage selection sucks, but what about the character roster? It's a solid enough character roster, but what's annoying is that they locked some major characters like Garo behind a paid DLC wall. But no character roster could save this game because they all just feel so samey. You play the exact same, no matter who you're playing as or against. And to add one final insult to injury, Bandai Namco has announced that they're shutting down the One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows multiplayer servers on February 28th, 2022, only 2 years after the initial launch. In conclusion, this game is repulsive. It shouldn't exist, and it's clear to see that Spike Chunsoft and Bandai Namco were once again pushing out shovelware in order to capitalize on a popular IP. And it seems like this trend isn't going away anytime soon. Every once in a while we'll get a good anime game like Dragon Ball FighterZ or Demon Slayer The Hinokami Chronicles. But one thing's for certain, the future of anime games is looking bleak. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. It'll really help out the channel. And while you're at it, make sure to check out any of my social media links down in the description below. Got Instagram, Twitter, and I just started a new Discord server. So go ahead and join if you're interested. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.